We're going to talk about the risks and rewards of considering an all-cash offer for estate properties, and we'll get started right after this. In this video, we're going to talk about the intricate balance of choosing or not choosing an all-cash offer. Hi, I'm Kim Ward, certified probate real estate advisor and real estate broker here in San Diego County. My team and I, including my partner Ashley Rivera, we help with homes in probate or trust administration. I'm going to break down the intricate information having to do with the pros and the cons of considering an all-cash offer. So let's first talk about the advantages of an all-cash offer. The first thing is the speed of a transaction. Most all-cash offers have a very short timeline. It could be a minimum of 10 days. Sometimes all-cash offers will come in at 7 days, but that's way too short to get everything done that we need to get done in order to protect the estate with all the documentation and get through the escrow and title process. So we always end up countering out a 7-day time period to a minimum of 10 days. Now, this would be if we shorten this timeline to 10 days, we're going to have to coordinate with your attorney, your probate attorney, because there's a notice of proposed action that needs to be sent out to all the beneficiaries, and it must be signed and returned to the attorney or it expires after 15 days. So you can see that the timeline situation is critical, and we would never consider a 10-day close of escrow without first coordinating with you as the executor or our administrator and your attorney. The second thing is the simplicity and the potential reduced risk. When there is an all-cash offer, we eliminate an appraisal and a loan approval. These are two big hurdles in a traditional sale or a sale with a traditional buyer and the purchase of an estate property. These two contingencies, the loan contingency and appraisal contingency, typically take about 14 days. And with a cash offer, you can actually avoid those two contingency/hurdles. When being able to bypass these two contingencies, it's more of an assured sale quicker. And another advantage is a quick sale means quick cash to the estate, but keep in mind, even that quick cash that would be received by the estate and would be placed into the estate bank account, it could sit there for another 6 to 9 months because it does take a while after the decedent's home is sold. It takes 6 to 9 months to actually get through the entire probate process. So although this is a benefit to the estate in some ways because a sold house is a good thing for an estate, it's still going to be a while before any of the beneficiaries can obtain some of the money, the proceeds from their loved one's home. I'm going to segue into a situation that, yes, you can still do a cash transaction with a real estate advisor helping you. The importance of this is because it's more than just a sold house. There's a lot of documentation that protects the estate and the administrator or executor. You wouldn't want to sell a house without all the documentation in place, the I's dotted, the T's crossed, because you do not want someone to come back, the buyer to be able to come back 3 to 6 months later saying, hey, you didn't disclose something like standing water, or the fact that you knew there had been a fire in the attic a year ago. Or one of the big disclosures is if someone has passed away in the home within the past 3 years, that needs to be noted on a specialized California Association of Realtors documentation to make sure it protects you, the executor or administrator, and the estate. And on that note, our team, because we have been helping with homes in probate or trust administration for over 2 decades. Yes, I'm dating myself. We have a list of over 80 cash investors that want us to inform them as soon as we have a home that might fit that criteria. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of considering a cash sale. The first thing is potentially a lower offered price. And it's not really potentially, it is for sure they're going to offer a lower price in most cases when considering cash. You'll want to consider a cash offer and the idea of the speed of the transaction and that lower price. We recently helped a trustee with a home here in La Mesa, California. It's a little suburb of San Diego County, and remarkably, a cash offer came in above the list price. And after doing multiple inspections on the property, the buyer requested a $20,000 reduction in price. Now, because the seller, he had wanted a little less than what the list price was, he had shared with us what he really wanted to accomplish. The number that it hit after that $20,000 reduction was his number. And we went forward with the sale because he was happy to have had that cash offer, a relatively quick close, and then he was able to move on with distributing the funds because this particular property was in a trust. Another disadvantage is missing out on the market premium. By considering a cash offer, sometimes you're missing out on a period of time that the house could be on the market and there could be multiple offers, meaning that if you accept a cash offer relatively quickly, you would be removing the property from the multiple listing service, from any other potential buyers, and the idea of perhaps an offer coming in higher than the cash offer. So it's something to really consider whether this is in the best interest of the estate to take a cash offer quickly or to wait a little and see if a traditional buyer that would need to get a loan and an appraisal, those two contingencies we talked about earlier, if that would need to happen, it would slow down the process, but perhaps the estate would earn substantially more net equity from the property and the ultimate proceeds for all the beneficiaries. You can see how this is a give and take kind of thing to consider when considering a cash offer. You'll also want to consider the emotional and strategic considerations. If rushing through a cash offer, especially one that is off market, when a cash investor comes directly to you to purchase the house without having put it on the multiple listing service and out there for all the buyers to see, the beneficiaries or heirs may have some unhappy feelings about that, especially if it's quick and they're still in the emotional feelings of missing their loved one and grieving through that process. And I would ask you to consider the long-term consequences of rushing to accept an offer, especially when there's additional beneficiaries or heirs, when you are not the only beneficiary. And again, I'd like to touch on the idea of selling without real estate representation. Keep in mind that investors are looking out for their interests. They're trying to get the best price, the lowest price, with the least amount of terms and a very quick sale. Whereas if you are working with a real estate professional, they are going to be looking out for your interests and the estate's best interests and making sure that all that documentation that really needs to be completed to protect you and the estate in the future is done correctly. As you can see, all cash offers, well, they blend simplicity with potential challenges, and it really requires careful consideration to make sure that it aligns with the financial and the emotional needs of you and the estate. I sure hope you found this of value. Please like, comment, hit that bell button, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next week.